Hello Internet, hello friends. Welcome to my channel and my workshop. Join me on an extraordinary journey as we transform a piece of German plum wood into a dynamic sculpture. This hard mahogany-like wood is very rare and will challenge and inspire our creativity today. Our journey begins with preparing the wood. I make sure that there is no sand or soil or any metal object in the workpiece. Then I start to remove the bark. From now on, it is important to always keep the future shape in mind and not to remove too much wood, of course. Because there's little room for error if we want to achieve the previously defined shape. Be aware of knots and irregularities, which adds character but can be challenging, of course. Ensure the wood is well seasoned to avoid warping and cracking. The size and shape should fit your project, and the smooth texture of the German plum wood enhances both the tactile and visual appeal of your sculpture. Using German plum wood not only creates a stunning piece but also brings a touch of history and natural beauty to my work. In this sculpting project, I blended modern technology with traditional craftsmanship. I started with a 3D printed female model. I customized it in Blender to match the contours and characteristics of my chosen wood piece. And then I did some digital adjustments that allowed me to experiment with the model's pose, ensuring it is aligned with my vision. In my case, I looked at a raw piece of wood and could imagine the later form of the sculpture in it. After refining the design in Blender, I 3D printed a scaled-down version for a physical reference. This step bridged the gap between my digital creation and the hands-on sculpting process. The printed model guided each cut and carve, ensuring my sculpture stayed true to the planned design, while embracing the natural beauty of the wood. This process worked great, as a mix of precision technology and organic sculpting, resulting in a piece that captured both my artistic intent and the sense of the wood's character. Alright, now the real transformation kicks off. We grab our power carving tool and get down to shaping the wood. This is where we start to see our sculpture come to life. In the beginning, it's all about removing the bulk of material, carving out large chunks to set the basic form. As we carve deeper into the wood, we start taking off less and less material. It's a gradual process, where every bit we remove brings us closer to the final sculpture. You can almost feel the shape emerging from the wood, becoming more refined with each pass of tools. Keep comparing your work with a 3D model or whatever reference you have, looking at it from all angles. It's like having a conversation with your sculpture, making sure each curve and contour matches up with the model. This back and forth ensures our creation is spot on with our vision. So we continue sculpting, watching the wood slowly transforms into the beautiful form we envisioned. It's an incredible journey from a raw block to a detailed sculpture. And we are just getting to the good part. Choosing the right wood is essential in sculpting. German plum wood is an exceptional choice with its old and rare qualities. It's heart of nature and distinctive red, or it has a mahogany-like look. Its fine grain is perfect for detailed carving, and while harder to sculpt, its durability and elegant finish make the effort worthwhile. Keep an eye out for knots and funky bits in the wood. They are tricky but add a ton of character to making our sculpture pop and bring our vision to life. Picking the right wood is super important. The grain matters a lot. Fine grain means smoother carving, perfect for those cool details. The color of the wood is an important factor. The color in combination with the grain can change the appearance and statement of the workpiece, from cheerful to dramatically dark, from modern to traditional or antique. While working, I noticed that the tree from which the wood was cut was affected by some rot in some places, especially in the core. But there was enough wood to create the desired shape. Defects in the wood and growth spots can greatly enhance a workpiece. And these imperfections can give a workpiece a special character and meaning. And you can incorporate errors or special features in the wood directly into your design. This option represents the best case. If it is not possible, then I would always try to adapt the design before I stop working on a workpiece. Of course, working with wood offers so much different solutions and options. Working out details requires patience and time. The right carving tool must be chosen with the right radius and curvature. The more precisely the tool matches the shape to be carved, the easier the work will be. So, as I delve deeper into sculpting, I noticed the wood had its share of challenges, as there were cracks, holes, and even some damage from wood pests. It's pretty common in woodwork, but it gave me a chance to get creative. I decided to fill these imperfections with resin, and here's where it got interesting. I mixed some metal bronze color pigment with the resin, and the way this pigment blended with the wood was just wonderful, giving it an unique, almost antique-like look. To keep the resin in check, I used hot glue to seal the opposite sides of the holes. After the resin had enough time to harden, it was time to tidy everything up and finish the sculpture. This is where we really fine-tune the sculpture, focusing on refining its contours and making sure every little detail is just right. To tackle the resin parts, I used a variety of tools. For example, the Dremel was perfect for the rougher work. It's great for smoothing out larger resin areas and getting them flush with the wood. Then for the more detailed work, I switched to hand tools like chisels and I use scrapers a lot. These are ideal for getting into these finer areas where precision is key. With these tools I could carefully shape and enhancing the sculpture details and ensuring everything looked seamless. This part of the process is like a dance between different tools and techniques, each one playing its part to bring out the beauty of the sculpture. It's all about patience and attention to detail, making sure that every curve and edge is just as we envisioned it. It's all about those small details that make a big difference in the final look of the sculpture. The final work as with any wood project, consists of sanding and surface treatment. After sanding up to a 300 grit sandpaper, I applied sanding primer. I then let the sanding primer dry and sanded again. And finally, I used a wax with UV protection for the finish. Now our sculpting journey comes to an end. We step back to admire the transformation of a simple piece of wood into a piece of art. Through every cut, carve and polish, we've witnessed the raw material take on a new life, shaped by creativity and skill. This process has been a blend of traditional craftsmanship and modern techniques. We've navigated challenges, celebrated the unique characteristics of wood, and infused our personal touch into every detail. That's all for today. Thanks for watching and have fun with your own projects. It would be great if you leave a like. That motivates me to create more content, and of course subscribe so you don't miss anything.